Hello and welcome. Today I have 5 advanced puzzles for you. They're rated 1800 to 2000. Now, I had a viewer bring up a great topic. He was saying that some of the ratings seemed, a little off or funny. Well, I think these puzzles are from chess.com where they probably take these examples from actual games that were played by people at the rating listed. So some of them may be a little easier or harder, depending on the specific puzzle. So, pause at any time if you need to think longer. We're going to try and solve these 5. This first puzzle, the queen has just captured, maybe it was a rook here. So the problem is if you just take, what will happen then, what looks like they could capture and have a back rank checkmate on white. So it's a little trickier here. Let's see what we should do. Now, generally, you want to look for checks, captures, and threats in that order. Checks first is their most forcing. So what checks do we have? Well, the rook can't really do anything, but the queen could go here, delivering a check, here, or even here. So let's take a look at this, see which one of these is best. Pause, like I said, if you want to think about it longer. If not, here we go. So we need to guard this. That way they can't just back rank mate us if we take their queen. So the only way we can do that and deliver a check at the same time would be to go here, delivering the check. And even if they tried to block and double rooks, well, we could still take their queen because our queen would be pinning whatever rook tried to block. So if the king would just move. Now remember, when you check a king, it has 3 or less options. Either, you can figure out a way to remember these easily. Maybe like break, BRK, block, run, or, kill or capture the opponent. So the opponent's piece, I should say. So if we check the king, they can try and block with a rook. They could run, but they can't capture our queen because it's too far away. So if we go here, then we're protecting our rook and we'll be able to capture. So check, and then now we can take the queen. If they capture, we recapture, and we're ahead now. With our queen versus their rook, and we have an extra pawn. That should be enough to win. And so this problem was rated 1920, so maybe it was played by a 1920 rated player, on chess.com. So let's see what we have next here. Problem number 2. Well, it looks like we're in check here. An obvious move may be to just go ahead and take. Would that be best? If we take, they would probably go after, if we take, then their pawn will fall. I mean, what am I missing here? Unless there's something better, we should look at checks first. So checks, then captures and threats. If we try to move our king up, threatening a back rank mate, well, they could just move back over here, checking us. I guess the one thing we have to watch out for is if we take the rook, can this pawn promote? Well, if it goes here, what do we do next? We wouldn't be able to move over here. to stop it because the king could just capture us. So we have to figure out how we proceed once we take this. We go there. The pawn pushes forward. We could go here, threatening a back rank mate. And even if the opponent promotes, he wouldn't be able... Oh, well, he would be able to stop us. So if we take, they go here. If we move, and it would take too long to get our king back up. We would have to go, back. It would take 2 moves to get up here. So, okay. So a problem that looks like it's pretty simple is a little more complicated than you would think. So, what can we do about that? Well, the check could come in handy. So if we do take and they push forward, what does this check do? Or the other check as well. Probably this check. Oh, wow. If the king goes into the corner, we could push forward. No, that wouldn't work because he could just capture our rook. Wow, okay. Well, I hope you're doing better than I am on this problem. Let's figure this out. Okay. And one of my viewers mentioned that they were having trouble with some puzzles because they were tired, and that does make a difference. I myself didn't sleep that great last night as well, and it does maybe limit your ability when you're trying to calculate and you're tired. But enough whining. Let me try and figure this out. Okay, we're in check. We have to deal with that. If we move our king, they can just start trying to chase us around. So we probably want to take. They'll push their pawn, getting ready to promote that. What do we do then? Wow, I guess I'm just missing something. Take. They push down the board, getting ready to promote. And then what? We have checks. If we take this pawn, they'll promote. And then we don't really have much. What if we check first? Oh, well, we can't because we're in check. Wow, yeah, that's what happens when you're tired. So I don't know. I'm thinking we have to capture. They're definitely going to try and get that pawn closer to promoting, I would imagine. Then if we check, the king can move off the back rank, attacking our pawn, perhaps. So maybe we go here, delivering a check. They're probably going to go here. That way we can't move over here and attack their pawn. Okay, this one's kind of lasting pretty long, so I'm just going to make a move here. That way the video doesn't drag out forever. So, of course, we got the first moves right. But now what? If we take, they promote, and I don't see a good follow-up after that. If we check, they're going to go here to prevent us from getting behind their passed pawn. Okay, so maybe this is a little trickier. So now if we go there, they go there. All right, I just might as well make the move. That's not what they want. Oh, I should have looked at this maybe. They want us to push the pawn. Okay, and now we can check and take this. Okay. We can get behind, take that, then we'll be able to come over, pick off their pawn, and then you can easily win with rook and king against king. All right, let's move on to problem number 3. Queen just dropped back here. Now what? What can we do? Well, we do have a check here. The opponent could try and guard this pawn that the queen is attacking. But then, we also have to watch out because then they would be able to deliver a mate here because our own rook would be blocking us in. So, if we check, if the king goes here, we can capture with a check. But then the king could try and run over to here. All right. Let's see. What if we check with the queen first? King could still just run. I'm not seeing a good follow-up. All right, now as far as material, we have what, 6 pawns? Our opponent has 5. We have this passed pawn, so we might want to look at trading material too. I don't know. I'm still thinking this check. The king goes here, though, to protect this pawn. Then what do we do? Oh, then we could capture here and deliver a mate on the next move. Okay, so check. The king may run there. Now what? We could take and check, but then the king could start running out to here. And then, all right, just to keep the video moving along, I'm going to make this first move. Okay, that's what they wanted. Now, if we, and when you're solving your own puzzles, you probably want to try and do as much in your head, but because I don't want to drag these videos out, to half an hour or more, because viewers requested that I try and keep them under half an hour. So I'll just try and keep it moving along. Let's see. So now we could take this pawn, delivering a check, but what do we do once the opponent runs over here? Hmm. You know, maybe we take that, the king runs over to here, and then what if we go up here? You know, and then our queen can threaten to move in protected by the rook delivering a check. But then our opponent could attack us by going here. We have to run here with our king. They could move back and start harassing us. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and continue with this. Maybe there. Okay, and here comes the harassment. We have to go there. Now we're under check. So now where do we go? We'll just get attacked again and again. Oh, we could block with our pawn, perhaps. So if we go there, we could use our pawn. Oh, our queen is under attack. Okay. Oh, yeah. So we definitely have to go after that. And then now we can just use our king to go after this pawn. All right. Well, I hope you did well on that one, rated 1940. Let's move on to problem number 4. Okay, what do we do here? The king was being checked by the bishop, so it moves towards the center. And our queen is under attack as well. You know, if we take, their queen is guarding that, so that doesn't look so good. Unless we check first, pulling the queen down to capture that bishop, and then we deliver a mate up here. So check, and then mate. All right. Well, I hope you found that one. I'm sorry if I showed you the answer too quickly. Let's move on to problem number 5. All right, the final problem. A rook is attacking our queen. We're looking for checks first. If we take the rook, the queen can recapture our queen. What checks do we have? Well, we could check with our queen, but it would be captured. Okay. All right, maybe we go for material. Let's look at the material. We have 5, let's see, 4, 6 pawns versus 5. 2 minor pieces. They have 3. So we're down a piece. We could go after this bishop. And if they take, their back rank's not protected, and then we can deliver a mate that way. But they don't have to go after our queen if we take that bishop. You know, and we don't want to knock out the rook because then the queen will be guarding the back rank. Oh, we have a check here with this. But if we do that, the knight could capture. So maybe that's not so good. All right, so maybe an obvious choice is just to take this. Something like that. Am I missing anything? I don't know. Maybe we just take that bishop. I'm going to try it. Nope, they don't want that. So, what is the better move here? Maybe they still want us to check with our bishop. If we go there, the knight would capture. Then what? Or, if we look at all the checks, even the ones that don't seem very likely, if we go there, rook would capture. Then we take with the other. Oh, maybe that's what we have to do. Okay. We check. They capture. We take with the other rook, forcing the king to capture. Then we check. So check, check. We go here, and it's a mate. All right, well, I hope you found that one, also rated 1920. Remember to solve puzzles regularly to help improve your pattern recognition skills, and go over the puzzles more than once. If you just do them once and forget about them, you'll probably, most likely forget the patterns. And the more you go over them, the more likely you'll be able to remember those patterns and hopefully use them in your own games. All right. Well, feel free to leave comments, like, and subscribe to support the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and have a super chess day.